Oh, hey everybody, welcome back to the internet. I'm Jason Goliath and I'm in the mood to celebrate beer because this is episode 2 of the More Cheers podcast. Now, I explained to everybody in the country why I'm so proud and excited to be part of one of the most bestest podcasts ever because it's about beer and my love and your love and the country's love thereof. If you haven't watched episode 1, do not panic. You can watch it after this. Stay here because today it's a big celebration, my bro. We are celebrating some of the best brewers in the country, my bro. And all of these brews are not even brews. They are ladies, my bro, because ladies brew too, my bro. And if you don't know that ladies brew, I've got news for you. You've been missing out because these, world class. Imagine a world championship of brewing. I don't know if such a contest exists. If it doesn't, please make it happen. But for now, I know my place. Marsha, I'm gonna hand over to you. You get through this. I will see you on episode 3. I just wanted to make sure that I'm on your screen because I'm also the host of this podcast. Jason Goliath, out.
Welcome to season 2 of the More Cheers podcast. We are back. We're gonna have conversations on topics that you might be avoiding. Some of them you're having at the bar already.
We want to hear your beer stories. We want to understand what role beer's played, what your favorite way, what your favorite place.
Thanks, Jason. I'm really excited about today's episode as a woman in brewing myself. We've got some phenomenal guests. We're going to be talking to Ramona Kayembe, who was here before, so we're glad to have her back. Then we're going to be talking to Andrea Jennings, and we're going to be talking all things brewing and some wonderful things that Ramona's been up to since we last saw her. Hey, bestie. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Marsha.
For those of you that have not met Ramona yet, Ramona is our head of brand for Brutal Fruit and for Black Crown. So, Ramona, for those of us that maybe haven't watched the other episode, tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to leading our most favorite product, Brutal Fruit.
So, Marsha, I think you know we've worked together for a bit. I started at SAB in 2008. I started as a marketing trainee and literally got the marketing bug ever since. So I have worked on many brands, including brands like Castle Light, and Brutal Fruit and Black Crown, now. So a long journey within the marketing team, including insights, culture and capabilities, a few global brands, but definitely my favorite era is the one I'm in now.
The bestie era.
The bestie Brutal Fruit era. Yeah.
So I really, I remember when we first met, I'm also exposing my age, but I met Ramona I was a trainee as well. So trainees, so you see guys, if you join SAB, you can go lots of places. And she was already in marketing and we were doing an activation. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is so cool being in brand. And it was Miller, it was MGD. And then we actually got to work together on Castle Light. And you've been doing from then some really amazing, groundbreaking stuff. I mean, on Castle Light, didn't you make a track made out of ice or something like that?
Castle Light was definitely where I got to play and experiment a lot. So probably I've shot over 30 commercials. I've done 5, 6 unlocks, 4 TV shows, made a few tracks, some ice cold tracks, made a LP made out of ice, nice. And everything really, and bought an island. So
yes, we forget about the island.
The island.
So
the island was
not
amazing.
The first one to have an island. It was Castle Light.
Castle Light had an island in Plettenberg Bay. But really at the center of it, everything was really just delivering amazing consumer experiences that would shape culture and have an impact. So.
And this shaping culture, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not wearing heels today. I mean, I'm not wearing sneakers today, but Ramona got me into sneakers. When I joined Castle Light, Ramona was like, on Castle Light, our sneaker game has to be on point. And I've been obsessed. I think I've got a lot of sneakers. I'm obsessed. I can't help myself. But let's talk about where you are today. So
Yes.
Brutal Fruit, I was on the brand and this was my contribution to brand Brutal Fruit, but a lot has happened since then. We have a lot more variants, and Budo food is doing phenomenally well. What do you think is what is it about Budo food that South Africans are loving at the moment?
So a lot of people don't know. And last year, I think I mentioned it, we celebrated our 21st birthday as Budo Fruit.
21. That's
So-
when life begins. they
So
say.
this year we're 22 years old in SAB, and we started off always as a brand to kind of invite more women into the lab category. So at the time, our the spirit coolers and the cooler category was still new. And Budo Fruit was really innovating in launching really fun, exciting, delicious liquids. And over the years, we've launched lemon, Vivacious lemon, manic mango, sultry strawberry, some really interesting, fun variants. But as we know, the world changes and women have evolved and society has evolved as well. So we felt that the brand also needed to evolve. And as innovation has always been at the core, we started with the liquid, but before that, we needed to understand what was changing and what were women looking for from a taste perspective, but also from a brand perspective, what they wanted from a brand, what they were looking for, and what did it mean to them. So that's when our spritzer range was started, really. We launched Ruby Apple Spritzer in 2018. And since then, it really has kind of contributed to the conversation about, one, driving more females and women, inviting more women into our category, especially as SAB. We have more women consuming than before. And then also kind of having an affirming and a celebratory tone. We've been speaking and encouraging women and reminding them that they belong. They belong at every seat. They belong at every table. But more importantly, they also belong to have this beautiful life, a life of beauty, a life of luxury, a life of indulgence. And don't feel guilty about it, because this world is there to be enjoyed and your life is there to be enjoyed. And that's what really we are moving towards.
I think you've said something about the liquid, and the liquid's really good. I will never forget the first time I tasted Ruby Apple, and it was still at the innovation phase, and it was not even in a branded bottle, but just went home, tasted it, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is delicious. So Ramona, I mean, you've spoken about kind of looking at what the consumer needs are and looking at women evolving. But Budo Fruit is started in South Africa, but we're hearing rumors and news, is it rumors per se, that not just South Africans are enjoying this brand.
Yeah.
But this brand, can I say, is going global?
Is global. Sorry.
It's global.
It's global.
Okay. So where is this South African brand at the moment?
So we always knew that we've had a good liquid. We've known we've had our liquid is phenomenal. Consumers and women have played it back that they love the liquid. So we knew that, okay, there's something here. But so we started having conversations with some of our global counterparts, because again, as a company that listens and understands what the market wants, we found that we needed more female-centric, woman-centric brands that not only deliver from a liquid perspective, but also from a positioning. So we tested the liquid, and the liquid resonated. But I think what surprised us the most was that the platform and what we stand for and what the brand is, what's in the DNA of the brand, resonated as well. So it goes to show that, women all around the world are going through the same
Similar
thing
things,
and want similar things. We want joy, we want connection, we want beauty, we want sophistication, and we don't want to feel like guilty or have doubts that okay, we can't live in our womanhood and in our femininity.
That's something interesting you said, that because when the brands that are global, if we look at our own portfolio, they resonate across multiple markets. So that's so exciting that this 22-year-old South African brand is resonating not just in liquid, but also in its positioning. And then, so what countries if I'm traveling, where can I find our brutal fruit?
So our brutal fruit is in Brazil.
Oh.
So in many cities in Brazil. So Brasilia, Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro.
Oof.
We are in the UK.
Oh, hello.
We go by the name of Brutal Fruit Cider there.
Okay.
And we are in China.
Oh, nice. That's a big market.
And then on the rest of our amazing continents, you can find us in Mozambique, Botswana, Zambia, and soon to be Ghana.
Oh, wow.
And
that's amazing.
Yeah, so we're looking at expanding across our markets in the rest of the continent.
This is getting me so excited. I'm super, super excited because I think sometimes in South Africa, we're always accepting like brands. We accept other brands. And I think it goes back to SAB as a business is we have been exported as a business to the world. And now we have our brand. So it's not just accepting that our brands are good enough. Our brands are aspirational enough. That other people and across the world are responding to them. So that's super, super exciting.
It is very exciting. I think this brand is I think we always thought it would be, not to, I worked on the beer brands, but not to kind of pull them down. But we always thought that maybe we would be one of the beers that would be exported. But we've seen this growth in Beyond Beer, and we know that Beyond is such an amazing opportunity, and it's growing globally. And, it just goes to show that when you actually listen to 50% of the global population, maybe you just hit the nail on the head. And I think that's the most exciting thing. And I think it always still gives me goosebumps and super, super excited and really, really humbled and taken aback by, this brand that, did kind of feel like, it wasn't the focus for the longest time.
It was not.
Felt like, we always had to kind of really just kind of, affirm and push things, has finally been able to sparkle and shine and show the world what she has, right? She's a beautiful brand with a beautiful message, and amazing liquid, right? So we know that when building brands, you can't just have the best proposition. If your product, falls short, then you kind of lose the people. So, that's also super exciting.
Ramona, you've talked about platforms.
Yes.
And, in our business, we've been hearing mega platforms and passion points. Maybe we can call them passion points. What is the Brutal Fruit Girl about? And what is the Brutal Fruit platform that is resonating across the different markets that we are in now?
So we know that women are multifaceted, and trying to kind of box them is a challenge. But we know at the cornerstone of everything, it's about this idea of connecting and women get-togethers and finding moments where they literally can be their most authentic self, and be able to connect with the people closest to them, but also make new connections. So we've really, particularly locally, and it has been expanded, is our Spritzer Saturday brunch has been a big thing that has allowed us to kind of create beautiful, luxurious, sophisticated experiences where women can connect, can be their true selves in an authentic way, with fun, light-hearted, joyful, and lots of and great food and music and our beautiful spritzer. And that's been resonating, and it's been interpreted in different ways, whether it's at home, we know at home is a big occasion. So whether you're connecting with your girls at home, or in a bar, or in a restaurant, or at experiences, or at events, that are curated, that's usually curated by the brand, or places that we show up when we're sponsoring. So it is at the core of it, it's about connection.
I had to ask you, what is something that the Brutal Fruit Girl outside doesn't know that you would want them to know about Brutal Fruit, or the efforts and the energy that goes into it? What do they not know about the team behind the brand?
So I think they don't know that the team is actually 99% women that work on the brand and in the agencies, and a lot of the development has been led by women from an innovation perspective, from a supply perspective. But more importantly, that everything that we do is well thought through, it's well crafted, and it has your needs and women's needs at the core of it. Our liquid is beautifully crafted, complex flavors, all to give you like the most amazing drinking experience. Our events and our experiences are curated in that way, as same personal, ensuring that you have the personal touch, ensuring that every moment feels elegant and sophisticated. And every prize or everything that we do really takes time, takes thought. We've got tons of glasses that we go through just to make sure we give away the perfect flute for you.
It's not just, okay, Brewfood is not, I've never seen someone put it in like a water glass. It just doesn't feel.
Does it feel right in a water glass? No. It doesn't feel right in a tumbler.
No one would dare to put it in a water glass.
So flute glasses, any flute that you have, but everything needs to be beautiful and make you feel beautiful when you drink it. So it's that added elegance, that added sophistication to either your everyday or to even a beautiful celebration that you're having with your girls.
No, absolutely. Guys, there's a new addition to the family, right? Brutal fruit lychee sesh.
Yes.
It's sesh, guys. Lychee sesh. No other way. And it was also really delicious.
It is.
I can't choose. I don't know which one's my favorite. It depends on the mood.
It is absolutely delicious. And if you read each of our labels, you get a sense of what the complexity of each of our flavors are. So lychee sesh, the sesh means dry, so it's a little bit drier to the taste, a little more drier, less sweet.
How do you come up with these names? Because you've talked about like the other brutal fruit flavors in the portfolio. How do you name the brutal fruit flavors?
They always have to be elegant, sophisticated, especially our spritzer range. It's definitely something that has a flavor that you know, so like apple, strawberry, lychee, and like a beautiful, luxurious word that elevates it and really just kind of brings that air of luxury to it. Our other flavors were fun and playful, and these are a little bit more elegant and joyful.
I cannot wait to see where our girl Brutal Fruit goes to next. And can we say it is one of the first SAB global brands?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I love it. I'm super excited of where Brutal Fruit is going. I'm excited that this brand is going to multiple markets and many women across the world are going to enjoy the South African product. Ramona spoke to us about the liquid and that it is the cornerstone of some of Brutal Fruit's success. And we're going to meet the woman who is also behind the development of this liquid. Her job is to make sure that we have the best liquid possible. Andrea Jennings is our Brewing Innovations Manager, and we're going to meet her in our segment, How to Beer and Beyond. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome to our How to Beer and Beyond. I've got with me Andrea Jennings, who is our Brewing Innovations Manager, and she's going to be talking to us a little bit about the liquid of Brutal Fruit. But before we get into the liquid, let's get to know the woman behind the liquid. Andrea, Brewing Innovations Manager, how did you even get into brewing?
At the end of high school, I enjoyed the sciences.
Okay, me too.
Mm-hmm. So I applied to do my BSc in chemistry and biochemistry.
Biochemistry and physiology, but no one told me about brewing, so I completely went that way.
And then after doing my honors in biochemistry, I was really fortunate to get a brewing technical traineeship through South African breweries.
Nice.
So the first 2 years of my career was just focused on learning on how to brew.
Okay. Wow. So what's the journey like from when you start learning to be a brewer to actually becoming a brewer? Like how many years of training is that?
Well, you never stop learning, right?
Fair.
So you learn throughout your whole career. But in terms of being a qualified SAB brewer, it's those first 2 years of your traineeship where you undergo courses and you do what's called a brewing checkout.
Okay.
So that's your day under pressure, under fire, where some senior brewers in the business ask you questions and quiz you the whole day. And if you pass, you're a qualified brewer.
Here you are. That's amazing. Talk to us about, how is Brutal Fruit, what happens when does the brief come in and they say, we want a new liquid? How do you and your team go about developing all our liquids?
Yeah. So we get a brief in from the commercial team, and we need to translate the commercial brief into a technical brief.
Okay.
So we get together as a multidisciplinary team and we scope the product intrinsics.
Okay.
So that'll involve things like the alcohol percentage,
Okay.
the color,
Okay.
the clarity,
Oh, okay.
what flavors we want,
Okay.
and also what we don't want.
That's also important.
Very important.
So Ruby Apple, Ruby Apple would be what? It's like grapefruit, is it?
When we first developed Brutal Fruit, at the time, blush and berries were trending.
Okay.
And Ramona did mention we had our previous Brutal Fruit range, which was very single-dimensional, one fruit.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we identified a gap in the market where consumers wanted a bit more complexity, a bit more depth, and sophistication.
Women are complicated and and have depth and all of that. Yes.
So we went into testing the flavor trends at the time, went through multiple iterations and multiple sets of consumer research until we found our superior product.
And here we are. Ruby Apple, the first of our spritzer range. So it sounds like there's a lot of intentionality and being very specific. Yeah.
There is. So innovating and developing a new brand can take anywhere from 12 to 18 months, depending on how many iterations you have to go through in order to get your superior product. What's important in Brutal Fruit, or what comes first, are the top notes.
Okay. What's a top note?
So a top note is the initial volatile flavor or aroma that hits your nose or your palate.
Are we going to pause so we can get the volatile nature? Okay. All right.
So yeah.
I feel very elegant already. So what do I do now?
Okay. So yes, it's the first note you get on the nose or the palate.
Okay.
So you can swirl gently.
Okay.
And what we get
that smells nice.
from Ruby Apple is there's slight grapefruit, an apple note.
Okay. I can smell that.
Okay. If you take longer sniffs, you start to hit the complexity around some grapefruit peel, some spiciness, some honey.
Wow, that's a lot of flavor. Like I think we just sometimes think it's just Ruby Apple and and off we go. Wow. Okay.
It's a lot of flavor, but it's very well balanced.
Yes.
Which you will tell on your first sip.
Okay.
So there's a very nice balance between sweetness and sourness.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we've learned a few things. So to recap, Brutal Fruit Spritzer, we've got top notes, everybody. And top notes is the note, I hope I'm getting it right, is the note that it's what you first smell. It's like the volatile. Your initial impression. So that's what you get. That's a top note. So I'm taking that away with me. So how do you feel about the fact that Brutal Fruit is going global? It is our first South African Brewers brand to go global. How do you feel about that? And you've been literally at the crux of its development. How does that make you feel?
I'm very proud. It's my baby. Yeah, in awe and very proud of what we have developed and what's gone global.
So I want to say thank you to you because you've developed one of my favorite brands. And for ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted to know the women behind some of our favorite products, Andrea, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm looking forward to what you're going to do next. You are such an inspiration. And hopefully there's somebody out there who's now deciding to be a brewer because you have taken one of our most beautiful brands global. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Marsha.
We're back from How to Beer and Beyond. And ladies, we have this section called Rapid Fire Questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you, it's whatever comes to your mind. Like quick, fast, don't overthink it. Just right, very quick, right? It gets us to know you just a little bit better. Okay. Ramona, I'm going to start with you. Lipstick or lip gloss?
Both.
Coffee or tea?
Neither.
Sneakers or heels?
Sneakers always.
Hip hop or R&B?
Oh, both.
That was very good. We should actually, you know what we should do next time with our guests? We're going to time and see which guest answers it very quickly. Okay.
Do 30 seconds.
30 seconds, actually.
Jeez, jokes.
Okay. Andrea, it's your turn. You got a warm up from Ramona. So, okay. Since you're a master brewer, Culling or brutal fruit?
Brutal fruit.
Texting or talking?
Texting.
Favorite day of the week?
Monday.
Ferrari or Maserati?
Ferrari. Vroom, vroom.
I love that. I love that. And actually, I want to ask you the same. Hip hop or R&B?
Hip hop.
You didn't see that coming. Yes, I love it. So that is our rapid fire questions. And thank you, ladies, for joining me today. And I think it's really special. And I was reflecting actually on what Women's Month is about, because sometimes we celebrate these days and we really don't. We just forget why it's there. And it got me thinking about these women back in the 1950s who really did something phenomenal. And I think that you guys are also doing something phenomenal. You are innovating, leaving a legacy. And for those people that maybe worked on Brutal Fruit many moons ago and would be delighted at where it's gone, and that fact that you are creating a product that other people outside of South Africa are going to absolutely enjoy is super phenomenal. So I wish you all the best, and I can't wait to see whatever's coming. Is there something else coming down the pike, or can you say? No, cannot say. But really, really excited of what this brand is going to be. Our first global brand as South African breweries. Really love it. Thanks for joining me, ladies.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us, Marsha.